this all goes back to the basic response we have for almost everybody who asks about frequency and email marketing. It's the same that's true for social posting.
Or
It-
any piece of content or ad or anything you decide to do.
yeah, the
Ever.
answer is how often should I do it? And it is as often as you have something important enough to say.
There's no such thing as too often. There's just such thing as too boring,
Yeah,
truthfully.
that's it.
The big question we ask around all ads and all content is, are you connecting with a human and offering them a better life? Welcome to the Maven Marketing Podcast. Today is Maven Monday. I'm your host, Brandon Welch. I'm here with the irreplaceable Caleb Agee, and we are having an awesome time.
Yes, we are.
Episode 13.
1-3.
On a Friday the 13th. What could go wrong? It's not the Friday the 13th.
It's not Friday.
We do shoot
It's
on Friday.
Monday.
And it is episode 13. As far as you know, it's Monday.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, getting thousands of views, I would say, per week now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really ramping up. I
Yeah.
think the algorithms are taking us high. So thank you to all of you who have subscribed and liked. If you haven't, let's hit this iron while it's hot.
Yes.
And now we are on TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took a little while, but now we're the talk of the town.
Don't talk about it.
Talk about exciting.
Yeah.
This is the place where we answer your real-life marketing questions to help you eliminate waste in advertising, grow your business, and to help you achieve the big dream. And what are the big dreamers up to this week? We've had some reach out.
Oh, yeah. So this week, today's questions come from Peter, who was struggling with something that most business owners we've talked to, especially in the early years, they really deal with. And the questions revolve around, how often should I send email marketing to my list?
Email marketing.
And usually their secondary thing is, I don't want to spam them, but I know I need to do it. I need to keep up the frequency.
How much is too much?
How much is too much?
Too little. Yeah.
I don't want to be annoying, but I also want to be making sales, being in their lives, you know?
This is a great tactical, practical question.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we hear it all the time. Gosh, I'm going to say we've sent in the neighborhood for or with or on behalf of our clients over 10,000 emails in our tenure.
Easily.
Yeah. So we've been around this. We've used all the platforms, and we're going to give you some. For the first time, I've been challenged to answer the dadgum question as asked before giving you the philosophy.
Let's do it.
And I have a powdered forehead today, so I just feel like this is the right moment to just go ahead and answer the question as asked right away.
What should we tell Peter?
We should tell Peter. It depends.
Okay.
Okay, first thing we ask.
Yeah.
We're going to give you this sequentially afterwards. We actually have a ton of like practical processes shortly after we just tell you how we answer Peter's question.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us who Peter is real quick.
So Peter actually has founded an organization called Kinsman. It started with what's called the Kinsman Journal.
Phenomenal organization.
Such a cool thing. They've started that here in our town. I promise you it will be in your town in the next 5 years.
Yes.
No doubts
Worldwide
about
cause. It's all for men strengthening faith, fatherhood, and work.
Yes.
And the whole thing, he is just a man with an incredible heart and has this vision that men in their, middle ages and beyond kind of lose this community, and we lose sort of the awareness and maybe the urgency to have strong connections with other people, other strong people that can pull us up.
Yeah.
And so he produced this journal, and when I got my hands on one of them, I could not believe that this was produced on a local level. It was like some of the highest quality art and production I've ever seen.
Gorgeous.
When I say it's a journal, it's a collection of stories.
Looks like a coffee table book almost.
Yeah.
I don't know how. It's hard to describe.
You go to Barnes & Noble, turn this thing over, and expect to pay $200 for it. It's that good.
Yep.
And so he's successful in on his own regard in a totally different industry, but he's starting this cause. And so the first question we ask Peter is, what is your goal? What are you trying to make happen? And he's trying to inspire people and give them value and add inspiration to their lives to do the thing that he has a vision for.
Yep.
And so he does have a journal to sell.
Mhm.
And in a roundabout way, he does need and want support for his organization. But otherwise, the content of these emails and the content of his, brand is that it's all value. It's all
Yeah.
about making your life better,
Yep.
making my life better,
Yep.
making Nate the camera guy's life
And
better.
it's really his list. We asked him this. Was comprised mostly of previous sales.
Yeah.
So we would call that a yesterday
A
customer.
yesterday customer.
And so these are people probably who bought a journal or attended some sort of event. They've been added to his list because they opted in along that path somewhere. And so they are yesterday customers. And
Peter was getting a 60% open rate on his list.
yes.
And he's going, I don't want to email people more than like once a month. And we're like, dude, 60% email rate,
You're doing just fine.
you can do them every day, twice a day.
Yeah.
So short answer to Peter's question was 2 times a week is not too many, and you could get away with more. But let's break that down. Why does Peter have a 60% open rate? What is an open rate? What does that mean? And more importantly, if you're listening to this and you're a small business owner, or you're an e-commerce retailer, or you're another nonprofit cause, how do you decide what your balance should be?
Yeah. I think this all goes back to the basic response we have for almost everybody who asks about frequency and email marketing. It's the same that's true for social posting.
Or any piece of content or ad or anything you decide to do.
Yeah, the
ever.
answer is how often should I do it? And it is as often as you have something important enough to say, as often as you have something worth reading, as
Yes.
often as you have something that is valuable to that customer.
Yep. There's no such thing as too often. There's just such thing as too boring.
Yeah,
Truthfully.
that's it.
The big question we ask around all ads and all content is, are you connecting with a human and offering them a better life? Are you connecting with a human and offering them a better life? And so that's why we said 2 times a week for him is not too many, because he's very really connecting with humans and
Yeah.
offering them better lives.
Yeah.
And but let's break that down. First of all, we're going to do another episode on if you're like not even at this point yet and you're going, how do I even build an email list? Like
How
the
do I
first
get
place to start
started?
is your past customer list, and
Uh-huh.
and that's all around the Maven method yesterday customer, which
Mhm.
is the most profitable customer, the most valuable customer,
Yes,
and the most overlooked customer in the marketing of today
for sure.
of small business
You
America.
have thousands of dollars untapped. I promise you.
Actually, millions.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell this full story in our next episode when we do the how to build an email list. But we had a client that had never done email, and they had been probably an active business for 10 or so years. And they were like, we don't think we have anything good to say in email. We sent one email, the very first one, and it resulted in $2 million of the business for them.
Come on.
$2 million
$2
of the
million.
business. And this was like a $8 million company, probably.
Wow.
So $2 million in new business. And so
Wow.
let's talk about that yesterday customer. It's the most overlooked because, frankly, there's nobody that's making a bunch of money off of it. Usually marketing people are driving that marketing conversation, and you talk about it the most when you're spending money on it. And so if you're a small business, or if you're even a medium to large size business, everything tends to focus around new customers, got to spend money. What's our cost per acquisition? How many leads are we getting? What's our close rate? All that stuff. And we're sitting here going, dude, I don't care what business you're in, but you've got past customers,
Yes.
and they are willing to hear and listen from you, even if even if you're in a one-time sales type transaction environment. So principles of the yesterday customer is they want their decision to be justified. If I've spent money with somebody, it feels nice to keep being reminded of what a good decision that is. And I don't care if that was a car, I don't care if that was a home repair, I don't care if that was a legal plan or a medical procedure or insurance or anything. It feels good to know that I have support and that my dollar meant something more than that day. Every human being is alike in that.
Yep.
It's kind of that tribal marketing thing we talked about an episode or two ago.
And you combat buyer's remorse at the same time.
Absolutely.
If you want to go to the dark side of that, you also,
at the very least,
at the very least, they're reminded of why they bought that, and they don't walk away saying, "Oh, was that a good choice?" Yes, customer, it was. Let me tell you why.
So while you're capitalizing on that, and they're going, "Wow, wow, wow," Lori is such an awesome person. I can't I knew I made the right decision at the time, but I can't believe how awesome she continues to be, or this company continues to be.
Yeah.
Um, do stuff people didn't ask of you. Not only will they come back, they'll find other reasons to buy from you. And maybe you're a realtor, and maybe you're, waiting 7 or 8 years for that person to buy their next home, but maybe because they like and trust you and you're bringing them back to that euphoria of making a good decision and reminding them of all the great things you did for them,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you kick it up a year.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they go out of their way to use you to find a home for one of their friends
Mm-hmm.
or their family or
Mm.
somebody else. And that's really the biggest thing. Regardless of your product purchase cycle, when you are demonstrating over and over and over that you actually are one of the good guys and you're one of the great guys,
Mm-hmm.
they will go out of their way to be an advocate for you.
Yes.
So it's stoking that fire of referral business.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care what business you're in. I really don't care if you're selling industrial stainless steel bolts.
Yep.
Talked to a guy this week that does that.
We talked to a guy who repairs wheel sets on locomotive engines.
Yeah,
He sends
he
an
sends some
email,
emails.
and
Oh my gosh.
he's getting hundreds of $1,000s in jobs when he sends an email.
Yeah,
every single
what do
time.
you suppose a set of wheels for a locomotive is worth?
It's
a
more
lot.
more than you. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so there's no end to this. So here's a couple realities on email marketing, and we're going to get into frequency and what you should be saying. We're going to give you like at least 100 ideas before this podcast is over.
Yeah.
But the average radio station, just think about media. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on TV and radio,
Yep.
if not millions.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these people that are, always trying to find the best station, the best next platform. How do we reach a bunch of people? Just think about this. Now, a radio station might reach in a small or a medium-sized town might reach 50,000 people in a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty standard cumulative audience. But every time a spot plays, it's probably reaching 2,000 to 3,000 people. So if you've been in business long enough to have a few thousand people on your list, you have your own freaking radio station.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's powerful.
And it's not that you can blast them 40 times a day with ads, but it's your own radio station and it's you and they're captive.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to the second point. Email seems old-fashioned. It seems like, I don't like getting emails. But guess what? Are we going on 30 years of where email's been mainstream?
Yeah.
I mean, started in the 90s, and here we are, right?
Yeah.
And it's not going away.
Yes. We had a stat from HubSpot. I think it was there are 4 billion. I'm going to say that one more time. 4 billion users on email. So you want to talk about what platform has the most users available for you? It is the email has.
And yeah, the average person.
I think it's daily users, by the way. 4 billion daily users.
And the average person is spending 2.5 hours per day in and around their email. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to, even some of the other really widely used medias.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is that it will deliver to 100% of your audience as long as you aren't doing something completely reckless.
Mm-hmm.
So if I send an email to everybody who just opened a Frank and Maven email, I send it to, a couple thousand people, and a couple thousand of you got it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way,
if you're not subscribed, you should hop on frankandmaven.com. You'll see
sign up for our weekly emails.
Yeah, you'll see we send. I'll just tell you, we send 2 a week.
Frankandmaven.com is about to get a huge overhaul.
Yeah,
it is going to be so cool. We're going to have all these in topics. We're going to have guides. Each one of these episodes is going to be boiled down to a text level where you can copy and take all of the notes and make them yours. So, so it delivers to 100% of people. If I have a Facebook audience of a couple thousand people and I make a post, and let's just say it's even a good post, what percentage of them will see it? Will receive that?
It's less than 5, probably 3.
3 to 5%.
Especially if we're talking about a business page. Because your business page automatically is hindered by Facebook's algorithm.
Absolutely.
So,
and guess what else? Who's in control of who sees that?
Facebook.
Not you.
Meta or whatever you want to call them.
And I don't care if, could be YouTube, could be TikTok, could be any of the platforms, and you think, oh, I've got all these followers. Great, happy for you. There's a way to use those, but it does not compare to the deliverability and the potency of email.
Because I could let you know something. You could have all of those followers, and Elon or Zuckerberg could
Mm.
shut it down tomorrow.
Yep.
And you don't own them anymore. They're gone.
Yep.
That is terrifying, but true. But when you have an email list, you own that list. It
And
is yours forever, and you can email them
yep.
obviously until they have
And,
unsubscribed.
but Gmail and iCloud and Hotmail and Yahoo and all the email services only have one agenda, and that's to get you the emails that you're supposed to get.
Yep.
So think about that. That's why it's powerful. And we're really inside the envelope of yesterday customers. There's a lot of ways you can love on your yesterday customers. Email is the easiest, cheapest, most effective on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
So you can read all about that in chapter 15 of the Maven Marketer. So you should do email, and you should do email a certain way if you want to get the best result out of it. Here are the 5 questions you should be asking before you do email marketing. What is your goal? What is your open rate? What is your unsubscribe rate? What is your click-through rate? And are you having fun? Is it rewarding? We're going to go into each of those. Let's talk about your goal first. If you're about to do email, your goal should be to add value, just sheer non-apologetic, non-reciprocal value. Like, it's not quid pro quo. I'm not trying to get something from you.
Asking for the sale.
Probably, yeah. Maybe a very subtle
Call
link to something called action, but the purpose of the email is to add value. You need to be doing that at least twice as often as you're asking for a sale. I prefer, the more you do that, frankly, the better, and the stronger your email content is. But some industries or some categories are inherently more transactional.
Yeah.
I can think of a client we have that their audience could legitimately and probably does legitimately need something they sell every couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're on that scale of people buy your stuff more often, either accessories or some sort of commoditized,
if you're in retail
consumable,
retail and e-commerce, you definitely would send more, and they would definitely be more actively in selling.
Yep. We've had clients that we sent as much as 5 or 6 emails a week for that.
Yep.
But within that, even though 5 or 6 of those emails could have led to some sales, we were always producing some sort of value, tip, trick, insight, or enthusiast.
Yes.
Feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And but on the whole, you should be using your email list to add value at least twice as often as you are asking for the sale.
That's good.
What's your open rate after you've done this for a while? I'm going to say if you have a 20% or greater open rate, you really don't have a whole lot to worry about. That's pretty dang good. Ours is like approaching 50.
50%. I was going to say 40 or 50.
By the way, if you're listening, you haven't opened our email, go do that. It would help us.
Yeah.
Click on something.
Go click on something.
Make Caleb feel good.
Yeah, actually, I need it.
Yeah, he needs it. It's good for all of us. But so Peter had a 60% open rate, pure value. Super awesome
He's beating
stuff.
us.
We when we work with clients, 20% or greater tells us our list is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And you can probably send more than once a week and not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
But what you want to do, which leads us to point 3, is what is your unsubscribe rate? If you're lower than 0.2%, and your email platform will tell you this, and we're going to talk about email platforms in a minute, which is like meaning 99.8% of people got the email and weren't mad about it. That's effectively what they're telling you.
Yeah.
If you were going to unsubscribe here and there, don't freak out. As long as it doesn't get over the threshold of 0.5% and like ascend, you're doing the right thing.
Yep.
And you'll know when you do something wrong because you have unsubscribes, right?
Yeah, that's the signal is obviously if your content is in one way, if it's very helpful, and then you start badgering people on a hard sale, you may end up seeing that unsubscribe rate go bad. You just want to pay attention to that. Or another big problem is people let their list get cold. So if you don't send for a long time and then people have forgotten why that value is important, they may all of a sudden get an email from you. You may have a higher influx of unsubscribes because you just batched them all together.
Yep. But generally in that 0.2 to 0.5%, you're probably fine. Just make sure it's not a trend.
Yeah.
And
when you're getting above that 0.5%, your tool, your email sending platform will probably start warning you.
Yep. And your email platform makes that easy. Like this should go without saying, but you should be using a service to do this for you.
Yeah.
The softwares are relatively cheap, sometimes free. But it'll have this little report that said how many people unsubscribed from your last email send. That leads to another metric that is important, kind of let you know how well you're doing. Um, if you're getting a 1% or better click through rate on your content,
Mm-hmm.
I think you're golden.
That's good.
It's not that you can't do better, but like that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
It depends on um, what the nature of your product is. Like the Frankly Friday email for us, there's really nothing you can click on except for to listen to it.
Yeah.
But you can also read it,
Because
right?
we give it all away right there in
Yeah,
the email.
it's all designed to be value, encouraging, inspiring, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're sending something and it has a clear call to action and you're getting less than 1%, you're going, I could have done something better.
Yeah.
The value wasn't clear. And you can just try better with copy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I think that's important to, in any marketing, we're always watching the sequence of the customer.
Yes.
So you want to think about this from their perspective. You sent an email, your open rate is dictated by really specifically your subject line.
Yeah.
They can't see much more than that. And maybe the preview text or the first line of your email. So how's your open rate? You want to pay attention to that as far as, are your subject lines compelling, interesting?
Yeah.
Do they leave them kind of wanting a little bit more? Do they leave them asking questions? You leave them on a cliffhanger, you're going to get that open.
Yep.
But then the next level, obviously they read it, hopefully.
Yep.
And then that's that click. Are they going to go to your page and buy something, fill out a form, call you? What are they going to do?
So there's a great tool called subjectline.com.
Mm.
You can just go paste your subject line in and it'll give you a score.
Yeah.
It's judging on how brief, like there's a character limit that most email platforms cut off. It's grading you on how enticing. There's certain words like how to is a really good thing. The promise of value, like last chance, like some more urgent type languages will get you a score, but it'll tell you, hey, this is what your subject line is scoring, and you know, here's what you can do to make it better. So
That's good.
great tool. So there's some nerdy things. Like those are just like, check, am I good? And you're probably good. If you're a good business, if you've done a good job for somebody, they don't mind hearing from you because it's a relationship and you want to carry that relationship forward. And email marketing is the most underutilized tool for keeping past customers going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, for new customer acquisition. So
yeah,
here's the last question. Are you having fun? If you are trying to, check a box and get an email out every week and saying, ooh, I've got to do this because I'm on a certain schedule because I read this blog post that said I should be sending one email a week, and you're just forcing it and you're going, what am I going to say next? And you're not coming from a place of relationship or enthusiasm or looking into your customer's life and saying, I'm excited for you and I'm excited to be your partner and your repeat business person and just a general value add to your life. If you're not coming from that place, you're going to fail.
Yep.
You're going to make content that is ugly, boring, transactional, slimy, and what you're going to actually do is make people feel less excited about doing business with you instead of more excited.
Yeah. Or God forbid, you heard on the Maven Marketing podcast that Caleb and Brandon told Peter to send 2 a week. They mentioned that they send 2 a week, so I must send 2 a week.
Yeah.
Don't do it. If you don't have something nice to say, no, I'm just kidding. It starts to sound like Mama always said.
Yeah. Ain't got something good to say, don't say it at all, right?
Yeah.
And that's really the good rule. Your
true.
mama taught you how to do email marketing.
That's
If
right.
you ain't got something good to say, don't say it at all. And so what you're wanting to do is add value. You're wanting to look into the life of your customer, encourage them, remind them of why it was a good partnership with you.
Yeah.
Give them new ideas, and we're going to get to ideas you can send, no matter what type of business you are here in just a second. And here's the 4-part formula. Who are you talking to? Like, what's going on in their life? What do they find exciting? Like, really think of this person. Give her a name. Give him a name. What are their needs, pains, hopes, and fears? Sometimes they have a legit need. Sometimes they have a legit pain. Sometimes they just need to be reminded of their hope. They just need to be reminded of something cool and exciting, which is entertainment. How can you satisfy them, entertain them, make their day better? How can you otherwise be interesting? Roy says it, offer them a thought more interesting than one they were previously thinking. You start there with that goal, you're going to add value. And then what's a reasonable next step? It could just be a simple encouragement. That's what ours are designed to do. We have like 0 transactional intent for these emails. Our mission and our vision is to make the lives of business owners better. So we do these podcasts, and we have literally a guy that's almost working full time just to help us pull all this together,
Mm-hmm.
and a whole team that does the graphics and writes the text and finds other interesting
Yeah.
things. And so um, ours is just, hey, take this with you, use it to help yourself. That's
Mm-hmm.
our reasonable next step. But sometimes
Yes.
you're going to say, download this guide, or this product will help you, or you can buy this or that and it will help you along your way. And that's
Mm-hmm.
there's no harm in that as long as you're positioning it as a betterment of their life.
Mm. That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Right, Nate,
good.
the camera guy?
He nods silently.
Okay, so we do emails 2 times a week. I think we can get away with 3. We probably will be doing 3 here this fall, because we're going to have a separate segment interviewing ultra successful business owners and having them share their insights. That'll be called Wisdom Wednesday. That's the announcement.
Mm.
Um, and but if you're, let's just say you're not one of these companies that just has a ton of, inherent value or excitement around your product, because sometimes you're in a B2B world or you're in a really slow purchase cycle. What can you do
Mm-hmm.
outside of talking about your product or your space?
Yeah. I think a lot of times what you want to do is focus on things that are one step, one or two steps away from the thing you're selling,
Yeah.
and they're related. So, I used to work with a realtor. The best, by the way, any emails you send that you've taken the time that are in this category, you should post them on your website as a blog post.
Oh yeah.
If you have a
That's twofer.
WordPress site or something like that, throw them up there. And then when you send the email, maybe link to that blog post. They might,
Yeah.
who knows, they might go to your site and get
Yeah.
shopping. Um,
And if it's also in your Facebook feed or in your um, Instagram feed, somebody's like on the path of choosing a company like yours, and they go search and they go, "Ooh, I wonder what this company's up to," and they
mhm,
see like months and years worth of just really helpful, good stuff.
yep.
That is a feel good. That is a proof that you are doing something good in the world, and that will attract trust and relationship and preference to you.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I got off topic there. The question was, how do you bring that content that's really helpful for their lives? If you are in home improvement, you should be talking about. Let's say you sell windows. Talk about how to clean your windows.
Yeah.
Make a little article about how to keep them clean when you got toddlers in the house trying
Yeah.
to make them all grubby.
Yep. You're reminding them of, you're taking them back literally to a physical interaction of that product that you sold them.
Yep.
You're saying, here's how to take care of it.
Yeah.
If not Windows, or if not cleaning windows, the next one could be 4 ways you can save energy in your home this winter.
Yeah.
They've already bought the windows, but you're continuing. It's proving your mission that you were
Yeah.
in something more
You
for
could
them.
you could literally be telling them to buy energy efficient bulbs.
Yeah.
That's not what you sold, but
Yep.
what you sell as a window supply company,
The outcome you provide.
which is a lower utility bill.
Yep.
So you want to think about what are you bringing to them? If you're in real estate, you might be talking about just enjoying your home, living life inside of your home. Uh, we've seen recipes, we've seen decoration ideas,
Yep.
renovation ideas.
For the trendiest new trinkets for fall.
Yes.
5 home stereo systems you should consider. The 5 most valuable home improvements you can make, and that's like 2 steps away. You're not talking about buying a house, but you're being their partner in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
What about things? What if you're just like this so boring of a product? I'm thinking of some of our industrial people that the average person is like, yeah, I'll buy it when I need it, and
Mhm.
otherwise it's not interesting to me.
Yeah.
Go
I
lifestyle.
I think it does go straight to lifestyle. You talk about that's when you say, who am I talking to?
Mm.
And what are they
Yes.
thinking about? And when you understand that guy or gal on the other end that
Mhm.
you're talking to, even if it's B2B, you're selling industrial fans, or
Yes.
we talked about locomotive wheels. If
Yeah.
you can go into their shoes and sit there for a second and say, what are they thinking about today? And just speak to that.
If it's business owners, talk about leadership.
Yeah.
If it's decision makers inside a business or any, B2B type thing, talk about how to have better conversations in your business. Talk about
Yes.
how to write better emails. Talk about 3 ways to make your work environment more fun.
You could talk about
How to plan your Christmas party.
budgeting. You could talk about
Mhm.
how to make how to make a more effective decision. You could
Yeah.
lead. You're really leading these people, and hopefully, like we said, offering them a better life.
One of my favorite examples is Craig Rochelle.
Yeah.
He's one of the most well-known pastors of our generation, probably.
Mhm.
And obviously he has a church, and obviously he has an organization that keeps growing. But he is extremely dedicated to teaching people inside and outside of ministry, and probably largely his audience is outside of ministry,
Mhm.
leadership.
Yeah.
And he sends this super value-packed email. It helps me and countless other people. Caleb and I are big fans of it. And
Yeah.
that is a means of influence, but it's also like as you get to know and trust him, it might take you to ask him more about his church,
Mhm.
right? And I'm not sure that that's his agenda. He just has a vision for making people's lives better. Let's fast fire on just some other really, you know, practical
Yeah.
subject lines. So it could be guides for tips and tricks of how to get more out of their purchase. Talk
Mhm.
about Alec last week and the guitars.
Yeah.
Uh, 4 tips for rip your face off guitar solos,
Yeah.
or how to get Jimi Hendrix tone,
Yes.
or 3 things that so and so did in the studio to get this iconic sound,
Mhm.
or how often should you replace your guitar strings, or something like that, right?
Yep.
So guides, tips, or tricks. Free things they can do to save time and save money. One thing we haven't talked about: if you're a local business and you serve a community, get obsessed with your community. Get
That's
people
good.
to local community events. Bring them out to this or that charity. Do calls to action to have them help you support a cause. If you do that once a month for a different cause,
Yeah.
all the people in that cause will think you're the best person ever, and
Yeah.
you are for doing that.
Yeah.
But also the community, even if they don't do a thing about it, they'll have that assumption and that association with you doing good in the world.
Yeah.
We talked about tips for the product that you already sold them. Couple ideas we had there. Let's say you're a attorney. How about 3 rights you should know about before you have surgery,
Mhm.
or 3 things you should ask your doctor before they do anything on you, or how to negotiate the lowest insurance
Yeah.
rate for yourself, right?
Yeah.
How about a mechanic? 4 noises you should know about when you hear them in your car.
Mm.
This one sounds like thud, thud, thud. Or
It kind of sounds
if your
like
steering wheel's doing this. Yeah. What if you just sent that out? Like, how much
Yeah.
value add is that? That takes the worry away from everyone when they see that, check engine light, right?
Yeah.
8 Halloween costume ideas that will make you the life of the party. Anybody could send that.
Anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah.
3 healthy Halloween candy ideas. How about 4 signs your dog is depressed? Everybody loves pets. Everybody loves their dog. Find universal topics.
Yeah.
The world's best margarita recipe for Cinco de Mayo. Or virgin margaritas that the whole family can enjoy. Just
Mhm.
something that's just feel good.
Yeah.
One of my favorite examples I've ever seen, this company we worked with, real estate brokerage,
Mhm.
did this whole play on nostalgia. And so
Mhm.
they would have things like 10 signs you were a kid in the 90s.
Oh, that's good.
And they knew who their audience was. They were obviously talking to second-time home buyers, like people that were just growing up, right?
Yep.
And they would get thousands and thousands of shares on this content. And they would even go to 4 things that only Ozark original members would know, like
Yeah.
founders of Ozark or legacy families. And they would go to these little corners of their community. Last one, just throwing a totally another random thing here. 5 ways to squeeze an extra family vacation in your budget.
Yeah.
You're helping people, right?
Yeah.
Adding value. So, you can find interesting email content. You don't have to be a perfect marketer. You don't have to have a super interesting product. All you need to do is add value to your customers' lives.
Yes.
They will see it. They will help their friends see it. The world will see it, and you will do better. And it will contribute to all the great things in business: better close rates, better return customers, better repeat customers, higher profit margins, people liking you for you, more reviews, and it's just good. Love
Yeah.
on them. Give them value. Keep being who you hopefully already are, but help them see it often.
Yeah. Speaking of helping people see things, if you
Ooh.
haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, to our podcast, if you haven't
Please.
rated or reviewed,
Stop right now.
just stop right now. You're driving in your car, you can multitask. It's going to be okay. Maybe pull over if you're not feeling
Disclaimer.
safe. You're on a jog.
Disclaimer.
Frank and Maven is in no way liable for any. No, I'm just kidding.
Automotive accidents.
Yeah. pull over and hit that 5 stars, write a little something in there. If you're
Please.
on a jog, you can hit 5 stars, you can type something. They call that multitasking. You can put it on your next resume. You can put it on your LinkedIn skills.
If you will identify yourself in any way that we can like know who you are, even if we know you or don't know you, like just some first name, last name, or I work at this company, or even email us,
Yeah.
and you leave a review or subscription, I will hook you up with a wicked cool swag pack.
Wicked cool.
We'll give you a FM mug, get you a copy of the book, and we've got a
Yeah. We'll make it easy.
whole bunch
Send
of
us
cool
a
stuff.
screenshot. Email it to mavenmonday@frankandmaven.com, and we'll make sure you get it.
Okay. Any final questions?
I don't think so. I think the last question would just be what tools people need to use to
okay.
get started. I think it's really important. We're gonna spend another episode digging into that. I think
how to build your list
how
from
to
scratch.
how to start. You haven't done email
Promotion
marketing
sweepstakes, yeah.
ever. What do I do?
Yeah.
So, but real quick, we've used them all.
Yep.
MailChimp, Constant Contact, Klaviyo. That's spelled with a KLAVIYO. Very weird
that's what we use,
spelling.
yep.
That's actually what we use. If you got
Yep.
our email, if you have like a CRM, that's more of a marketing CRM like HubSpot.
Yep.
Those are a little more expensive, but you get the secondary sales and marketing.
What I would say about this is you want to use one of these because it's going to make it easy for your content to look good.
Yeah.
And it's going to make it easy for you to understand what's working and what's not. My favorite, if you have less than 20,000 emails, is MailChimp.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably still the cheapest. There's a free option if it's under like 1,000 emails or something. Yeah. Constant Contact, not my favorite, but if you use it and you've already got a list there, there's no big reason to change it. It's getting better. Klaviyo, if you have any amount of sophistication or list segmentation or you want to do automation, it's probably my favorite. But I would say those three. MailChimp, Klaviyo would be my first and second. Constant Contact if you have to, but probably don't spend a ton of time worrying about that. Get a list, upload it, and start adding value to your people's lives.
Yep.
Hey, what is Forrest Gump's email password?
I like chocolates.
1 Forrest 1. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back here every Monday answering your real-life marketing questions because marketers who can't teach you why
are just a fancy lie.
Have a great week.